Hi, biology students. A little story for you. When I first bought my little house about 16 years ago, it was just a green grass lawn, and I started to reforest it because I wanted to attract birds. And I'm going to walk along and show you now what I've been able to accomplish in taking care to plant trees. One thing that I've actually done is something called carbon capture and sequestration. So what I'm doing is I'm actually helping to prevent global warming. I'm capturing carbon dioxide and I'm putting it in trees. So the idea of carbon capture and sequestration uses photosynthesis. Plants make sugars using carbon dioxide. So when plants make sugars, they're capturing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Interestingly enough, a lot of the uses of sugars are not just in energy, but also in building plant material. So what I want to do is teach you how photosynthesis really works. So an idea about photosynthesis. You learned when you were younger that photosynthesis is when sunlight is turned into sugar. But that's impossible. So why would anybody teach you that? Well, it was kind of in an early elementary age, or early learning age, an appropriate way to get you to think about the process. But now as we get older, what we want to think about is what's really happening. Sunlight energy is being used, but what's happening is the sunlight energy is being used to power a chemical reaction where carbon dioxide is converted into sugars. So sugar has 6 carbons, and so what it does is it uses 6 carbon dioxide molecules in its building. The energy of the sun is captured in the chemical bonds of the sugar. So as you're sticking carbon dioxides together and you're building these covalent bonds where electrons are being shared, the energy in those sugars is ultimately coming from the sun. So sunlight is used to drive a chemical reaction where molecules of carbon dioxide are put together in a larger molecule of sugar, C6H12O6. 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, 6 oxygens. Those sugars then can be bonded together, so you can kick out a water and you can stick together 2 sugars and make sucrose. Sucrose is pretty famous as the sugar of sap, and so if you've ever had birch root beer, or if you've ever had maple syrup, the famous saps give us those delicious sugars. Those sugars in sugar maple and birch that we're so fond of are sucrose. And it's the same as table sugar. So the transport carbohydrate is 2 sugars bonded together, and that's sucrose. Another thing that's interesting is you can keep building those sugars together over and over and over again, and you start making these large polymers. And so you start to make something called cellulose. And what cellulose is it's the actual physical building structure of the plant is made of sugars, cellulose. So the more carbon dioxide you put into a plant, the more sugars you build, and the more sugars you build, the larger your plants are going to get. So these trees that are behind me are trees that I planted when you guys were just getting born. Right around 2002 to 2006 was when these trees here were planted, and some of them are 25, 26 feet tall. And I really love these trees. They mean a lot to me. Again, all of this tree material is carbon dioxide that's been captured from the environment. 6 carbon dioxides make 1 sugar. So sunlight is used to drive a chemical reaction where molecules of carbon dioxide are put together in a larger molecule of sugar, C6H12O6, 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, 6 oxygens.